Welcome to the Rise of She, the empowering podcast that celebrates the unstoppable force of women. I'm your host, Priya Bhadain, and together we will shatter the glass ceilings, rewrite the rules, and reveal the extraordinary power within each and every woman. Join me as we redefine heroism, demanding the world to acknowledge that the word hero is just an O without her. Discover with me how women can unleash their internal potential, demand equitable pay that reflects their true worth, vanquish insecurities, conquer work-life balance, and embrace profoundly fulfilled lives. If you like my podcast, feel free to connect with me on Instagram and Facebook for an empowering journey like no other. Find me at Priya Bhadain and let's ignite the fire within. Disclaimer. The primary purpose of this podcast is to provide education. Information provided in this podcast is not intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease. Information given in this podcast must not be used in any legal capacity whatsoever, including but not limited to as a basis for expert witness testimony or establishing standard of care in a legal sense. Trigger warning. Some experiences shared in the podcast may be triggering to some audience members. User discretion is advised. Hi everyone, welcome to this inspiring episode of the Rise of She podcast, where we celebrate the incredible stories of women who has overcome challenges to reach extraordinary heights. I'm your host Priya Bhadain, and today prepare to be inspired as we embark on a journey of resilience and success with an exceptional leader in the world of customer experience, Priya Bhadain. With an expressive 20 years career including consultancy, training, and the banking world, Priya now stands as the head of customer experience in a Mauritian bank. But her rise to life was not without its trial. A tragic event became the catalyst that forged her strength and gifted her with an unwavering determination to embrace the infinite possibilities of rebirth. Her resilience forged through adversity has shaped her into an exceptional leader, recognized with honors like the Global Women Leaders Award and the Women Leadership for Africa Awards. Beyond her achievement, Priya's commitment to personal growth, evident in her professional qualification, make her an inspiration to aspire leaders. Embracing creativity from art to craft to interior design, she maintained a balanced life, showcasing her blog, Style It Right. Priya's journey exemplifies strength, compassion, and a determination to inspire others. Join us as Priya Bhadain graced the Rise of She podcast to share her invaluable insights on leadership, resilience, and the transformative power of embracing one's journey of rebirth. Get ready to be empowered by her story as she represents the strength and grace of a true model for women around the world. Our topic today is embracing the infinite, the journey of rebirth. Hi Priya, welcome to the Rise of She podcast. How are you doing?
Hi Priya, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. Priya, tell us a bit about you, about your journey, about your story. We would love to know, obviously, what have happened was a sad phase of your life, but how you have been able to move on forward is indeed an inspiring story. Would you tell us a bit about you?
Yes, of course. Well, thank you for the introduction, Priya. I felt so good hearing about myself, but I think, we're here more to talk about my journey as an individual who has gone through a tragic experience. By far, this is something that you don't wish to happen to anyone. It's an experience of life that tells you that no one is at shelter today. So basically, anything can happen to anyone at any time. I was in a situation where I was getting a divorce. My husband didn't take it very well, but at the same time, he had other issues as well at work. And I think it was a compilation of everything that led him to become mentally sick. So he came home with a knife and he tried to murder me. So from there, it's been an incredible journey, I would say, because I was left without knowing where to start, because overnight my life had changed. I have a daughter and she was 17 at that time, and I didn't know how to pick up from there. But having said that, the strength that I had was more looking towards my daughter, how I would stand up on my feet, although I knew it would be very challenging because I had to face so many other things myself first, because not understanding what happened. And even if you tell me up to now, probably I wouldn't be able to explain what happened, why it happened, except for probably someone who couldn't accept that there were so many things not going well in his life, from his professional life to his personal life, and he had no choice than putting an end to his life. But then what happens is everyone who stands around you. I have to say that although this has been very challenging, I had a very strong support system. Family was there, they supported me. Everyone was by my side and they wanted me to get out of this. But even if people want you to get out of it, nothing's going to happen if you yourself, you don't make that decision and you don't decide to step up for yourself. You don't decide that there is more to the world than just trying to understand what happened in someone else's mind. So it's more about how you take it, how you decide to take this journey forward. Of course, this comes with not only family support, like I said, but also counseling, which was, in my case, in my daughter's case, which was primordial, because going through counseling helped us quite a bit to get out of this trauma and move forward. And what you will do next will impact your journey, which is forward. The past is the past. Whatever happened, happened. You can't change the past. No one can change the past.
Yeah, true.
But you can be positive enough to say that this is it. This is where I am today, and this is where I want to be tomorrow.
That's very wonderful what you said. Yeah, especially talking about your journey, it's been a lot. And you still have been able to think how to move on in the future. And it requires lots of strength to work on yourself. And I love the part that you were saying about that you need to ask help, you need a psychologist, you need counseling, you need, and it's very, very important, which people doesn't sometimes feel that how important it is. And I really love that you spoke about that.
I think this is extremely important in the sense that, today we face so many challenges and we get engrossed in situations. We face different situations and it just talks within us. We don't know how to go about. And I don't think people understand the need to find a counselor, probably because they think what others are going to think of them. This is not really a sane person because he or she is consulting a psychologist. In fact, mental health is so important, and you decide, you choose to understand that your mental health is something which occupies so much space within yourself, and you need like right mind in the right body. And if you don't have that right mind, you're just going to wander everywhere. You get swayed by so many other things that's happening around you, and it's very important to take the right steps. So first things first. Now, consulting a psychologist as well, it's not something which is very easy, because as you step into the psychologist's office, you would understand that you would have to sit down, you would have to go over these painful events again, and you will have to work on yourself. So you will have to address that pain. It's only by addressing it that it will come out and you can move forward. This in itself is a huge challenge. And I would personally encourage everyone who thinks that they need that help to consult a counselor whenever the need arises.
Thank you for sharing that. That's important when you say mental health is very, very important. And we don't emphasize so much on it because we think we can handle, we think we are strong, but we're having a lot going on and we suppress things which make our life then becoming bitter, becoming more confused, and then we're like, oh, why us? But it's just that you are the one who need to make that choice to be better, and no one can do that. Thank you for sharing that. Priya, one day we were talking and you said you are more than just who you believe you are. How does that sentence resonate with you?
Well, definitely you are more than what you believe you are, because, in situations of stress, in situations where you have to face challenges, this is where you become a different version of yourself. So you might be this person who's got a normal life, you do things, you have so many things to do, which is your routine kind of thing. And very often what happens is that we just associate the self with having to do those routine things. This is what I do. I have to take my daughter to school. I have to cook for my husband. I have to go and see my parents. So this is what we always believe that, our core, but we're more than just that. Because when you introspect and when you go deep within yourself, you would then realize that you have a higher purpose. It's up to you, to any individual. When I'm saying you, it's any individual, to find that purpose. I encourage you to do everything that you normally do, your routine self. But there is something which is more important, and that's your purpose. And that's when you understand that you are more than just what you are, more than what just other people see of you, or what you want other people to see who you are, picture that you want to project. But it all begins from within. And if you discover what your purpose is, this will give you definitely a sense of the higher self.
I agree. I always tell my clients about that. It's not, you are not a series of dolls. You are a monster. You have to design your life. Because until you don't know your real you, nothing can happen, because you are letting yourself being reactive to the external environment rather than telling you, what would I want, instead of reacting. That's very powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Priya.
Definitely. There's, the concept of ikigai. So I encourage everyone to find their ikigai. There's an absolutely very relevant book which is called Ikigai itself. I'd encourage people to read it, to find their purpose, because this is something that will drive you ahead, drive you out of all challenges that you may come across, because you would understand that there is something which is much more important than just what this little challenge that's happening to me right now, this issue that's happening to me right now. I have to overcome this. And there's one thing that probably just to add on that before we move on, is that whenever you're going through a difficult time, for a tough moment, just know that this too shall pass. Nothing is permanent in life. It's not going to be there forever. So you will definitely overcome this difficult situation. You just have to trust yourself, trust your gut, your instincts, and do whatever you have to do and move on.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's very important. What you said is trust yourself. Trust yourself is the main thing. Priya, you believe in rebirth. Why is that?
Well, the first reason is that I've had a second birth myself. The situation I was in was definitely one where I was there to die. I had more chances to die than to be alive today. But thanks to my daughter, who came right on time, and she saved my life. And I looked back and I said, well, this is definitely a second birth. This is now for me to understand that I've had the chance to breathe a second life. This is something that an experience that I have gone through, because at that point in time, I was dead already. But more than that, I believe in rebirth, because I believe you are here to deliver on your karma. And really, you have to get over with this, because these are the deeds that you accumulate. This is why you will come back over and over again to end what we call the bad karmas before you really you attain the abode of God. Sometimes, you just walk across a person, or you talk to a person, you meet a person for the first time, and you just say, hey, it's as if I've known this person my whole life. I don't know. This for me gives me an indication that probably I've met that person sometime, somewhere. No, not in this lifetime, but in some other lifetime. And I think that if you want to become a better person, it's because you've gone through certain things, you choose to become a better version of yourself, and you have the chance through coming back over and over again to become a better version of yourself. So rebirth, it's a concept. Some people would believe in it. Some others won't believe in it. I do think it is right, and I have to do the right stuff, the right deeds, to come back and live a better life.
How did you feel and what have changed when you were reborn?
My whole perception about life has changed. That old version of me, I questioned the way I was doing things. So, I mean, as I mentioned before, I had a lot of time to introspect, to think about what my life was before and what I want of life now. Will I choose to live the same type of life, or do I want a better life? If I want a better life, then what should I do? When I'm saying a better life, it's not material better life. A better life for me is also a spiritual life. And this is where, for me, I try to align with myself, my senses, where I think this is the new version of me. And I'm more calm, probably, and I see things differently. Maybe some things that were important before are not important anymore. I would look at it differently and I would say, okay, fine, this didn't happen. Well, just too bad. You learn to accept things. And I think acceptance is something extremely important in life, because you understand at some point that you don't control everything. And it's really what sense you make out of what is happening, and you choose your course of action, which you believe is the right course of action. And this is where you move forward. And this is what has changed for me. Yeah. My course of action, my way of seeing things, my way of doing things, my way of interpreting things, my perception altogether.
When you say your perception altogether, Priya, what is it? Is it different? Obviously, it's different from what you were thinking before, but how has it been able to make you a better person and having that fulfilled life now?
Well, I think I mellowed down quite a bit. I will not take things at heart so much as I used to do. And definitely that helped me in becoming more spiritually aligned.
Thank you. As you know, I believe in a community where everyone should have a kick-ass buddy. So a kick-ass buddy is a supportive friend, mentor, colleague who encourages you, motivates you to pursue your goal, helps you to overcome challenges and celebrate your success. This is a person who believes in you, offers guidance and feedback, and challenges you to push beyond your comfort zone. Having a kick-ass buddy can provide you valuable source of support, accountability, and can help you stay focused, motivated as you work towards your goals. Who has been your kick-ass buddy throughout the journey? And do you believe having a supporting network is important to have a fulfilled success in life?
Definitely, a supportive network is essential. It's crucial. If you want to grow, if you want to give yourself the chance to reach the other side of the shore, then definitely you have to leverage on your network. You call it network, I would call it ecosystem. My ecosystem, this is something that I built. This is something that you build out of honesty, out of trust, out of respect. That definitely would help you to grow. Talking about my kick-ass buddy, to be very honest, if there's one person who has been my rock and my support and who made me grow more than who I am today, I would have to give that credit to my daughter, Shefali. I have to admit that she has a way of thinking which is very different from mine. I think it's probably the generation gap as well. She's a Gen Z. Of course, you know, they have totally different way of appreciating life, of seeing things. And it made me question myself quite a bit. I think she's the one who really put me and pushed me out there to leverage on myself and to reach higher self. So that's more from a personal perspective. From a professional perspective, if I have a kick-ass buddy, probably I have met some people, you know, in my professional life who have been very supportive. But at different points of life, I would remember I was working with a person before who supported me and really pushed me to go out there, do my MBA, for example, because he believed more in me than myself. I had the potential. So that really was one of my kick-ass buddies at that time. But then you move on with life and then you go separate ways professionally, of course. And then I've met someone who's always been challenging me to bring that better version of myself. And I would call that person a kick-ass buddy, yes.
Yeah, the person who brings the best version of yourself is definitely a kick-ass buddy. Right?
Yeah, sometimes you just feel like, you know, punching them because you feel like, this is too much now, I can't take it anymore. But in hindsight, when you look at it, you say, no, that person really saw my potential. They wanted me to be a better version of myself. Yeah, definitely.
Based on your experience, what advice or insight would you offer to corporate working women who would like to advance their career or simply be financially independent?
I would ask any women not to restrict themselves. They have more potential than they think that they have. Being a woman myself in the professional world, I can tell you that it made me grow, not only materially. For me, growing materially, not that it's insignificant, but it's not the most important. It's not the main thing, but it challenges you to grow as a person. It shows you the way that to make you understand that you are more than just what we call a woman. You are a bread earner. You bring food to the table. You can think. You can take decisions. You can move forward in life. You can make other people's lives better by being a better version of yourself. And this is your role, not only within the household, where you would be a mother, a daughter, a wife, a sister, but you can grow out there to be of use to society as well and to bring your 5 cents that could change somebody else's life. Being a woman is something exceptional, and really hats off to you, women.
What's the one piece of wisdom you would give to women navigating personal or professional challenges and obstacles?
One piece of advice, I have a good one. Be a wabi-sabi person. So I don't know if you know the concept of wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is a Japanese concept, and it tells you to embrace the imperfections of life. Because we as women very often tend to think that we have to be perfect. We have to do everything to perfection. But I totally have a different perception of life. And I think like you can find perfection in everything that is imperfect. And embrace it, embrace life the way it comes. Accept that not everything would go your way, but you can turn it into a beautiful journey and just a wonderful story, not only for yourself, but for others as well.
Thank you so much, Priya, for sharing your incredible journey. And to our listeners, thank you for being part of this uplifting episode of The Rise of She. Remember, our journeys matter immensely. Stay tuned for more empowering stories, and until then, take care and keep shining. If you have been inspired by today's episode, make sure to subscribe and follow The Rise of She to stay connected and never miss a moment of empowerment. Join me on Instagram and Facebook, where we'll continue to fuel the flames of progress and self-improvement together. Find me at Priya Bhadain. Remember, we are unstoppable forces bound to inspire and empower one another. Until next time, Priya says adios, ladies. Stay tuned for our next empowering encounter.